The purpose of this video is to show you how to schedule a video conference in Google Meets. So I'm going to start out in my Google Classroom. And if you've seen my other Google Classroom videos, this is the classroom we've created together. So in order to do a video conference, I actually need to go to Google Meets, which is another application within Google. So anytime you want to switch applications, you click on this grid. And we're just gonna scroll until we see Meet, and it's this speech bubble with a camera in the middle. I'm gonna click on Meet, and you have the option to start a meeting right away and invite people through that meeting, or you have the option to schedule a meeting. So when you schedule a meeting, you're actually gonna schedule it from Google Calendar. So I know there's lots of different apps involved with Google, but they try to keep it as organized as possible, so bear with me. We're gonna click on this plus schedule a video meeting from Google Calendar. So when I click on this, it brings up a meeting invitation format. So I'm just gonna call our meeting test. You can set the date, the time. I'm just gonna set this earlier. You can say if it's all day, you can say if it's reoccurring. You can add a location if you want, it's up to you. You can add notifications, you can add descriptions, you can attach files for everybody to read before the meeting. But the most important thing is naming your meeting and creating the date and time. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and add your guests. So unlike Google Classroom, your students or whoever you're meeting with don't actually need to have Gmail accounts to do this. So when you're on Google Classroom, the students have to have Gmail accounts. If you're using Google Classrooms from your personal Gmail, they need to use Google Classroom from a Gmail account. Unless they're using G Suite for Education, that's another story. Let me know if you have questions about that. But to clarify, in Google Meet, you can invite anybody and they should be able to accept the invitation. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna invite the same email address we've been using in my other videos. So now that I've listed that guest, I could list more if I want to, and if I'm finished, I can go ahead and save it. So now that my guest has been invited, I've set up the day and time, I'm gonna go ahead and save it, and it's gonna ask me to send it. So I'm gonna send it to that guest. And now if I look at Google Calendars, it shows up at the bottom of my calendar for today. All right, so now looking from the student perspective, the student would go onto their email or their parents' email and they would get the invitation and it has the link right there. They can even RSVP if the link is ahead of time. So the student would ultimately click on the link to meet with you. When it's your day and time to meet, you need to go back to Google Meet. So we're gonna go to Google Meet. We're actually gonna go back to Classroom. Why don't we go back to Classroom and start from here? So say you're in your Google Classroom and you're saying, okay, it's 10 o'clock, it's time to meet with my students. We're gonna go to the Google Meet application. And you can either go to the calendar and pull up your Google Meet, or if it's the day and time of your Google Meet, it should just pop up right here and it'll say now. So you can go ahead and join that meeting. If you don't see it here, that's okay. You're gonna look for the Google Calendar app and you're gonna go to Google Calendar and find your meeting. But again, you can just go to the Google Meet app and immediately find that meeting, and you can start that meeting by hitting now. So it's getting ready. It's gonna ask you if you wanna join that meeting. It's saying nobody is here yet. That's me. So we're gonna join now. And it looks pretty much like Zoom or like any other web conferencing app you've been using. So now on the day and time of the meeting, the student would need to click on that meeting link we sent them. And when the student clicks on this link, they're gonna join. When the student joins, it will let you know that the student joined the meeting. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure it's working. Okay, so the student has joined the meeting. It's going to let you know. If you need to see who's participating in the meeting, you'll just come up to these people and you'll look. All right, so again, the purpose of this video was just to show you how to schedule the meeting and how to invite students. See my other video for how to use the different features in Google Meet.